Hi, YouTube friends. Thank you so much for tuning in together. It's an honor and a privilege as always to be with you. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share if these videos are a blessing to you. And please comment in the space below if you'd like. One more thing I want to say. Right now, we're having a little trouble with our link to send you the free downloads with each session we're together. So if you want the free download, could you comment in the box below or the space below with your email so we can send it to you? That would be great. I'm so thankful for you. And if these videos are adding value to your life, please keep coming back. All right, let's get into what we have for today. Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome back again to our wonderful spring season and to 2020 vision. I'm really excited to hear from you. How is your 30-day challenge going? If you're going, what 30-day challenge? Go back and listen to last week's. I gave a 30-day challenge about writing out your 2020 vision goals. And I also talked to you about the importance of taking time to hit the pause button and reviewing, revising, and renewing those short-term month-to-month or 6-week goals. I'm really excited to hear how that is coming along for everyone. So comment below if you would like to. And also, please comment in the space provided, comment below if you would like the freebie that I have. We don't have that link fixed yet, so comment if you would like the freebie with just simply your email and we'll send it to you. So what I have for you this week is simply my notes that I'm using to talk about practicing or creating a habit of aloneness. So if what I have to say kind of strikes a good chord and you want to be able to review it and put it into practice, then please let me know and we'll get these notes to you, okay? All right, so let's jump in together. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us together. And we now are here together to learn about the importance of this habit of aloneness and quiet time. In your name, Lord Jesus, we pray. Amen. I have notes that I'm looking at, and I've got a book here I'm going to read to you. So my eyes glanced up and down. They might do a little more of that today because I do have things I want to read to you. One of the most important habits that a person, any person, but especially if you're a person of vision, leadership, if you are a person that really is after those goals, one of the most important habits that we need to develop is this habit of aloneness. This is one of the greatest gifts or blessings that you can give to yourself. If there's one thing that you can take away from anything that we talk about, or if there's one thing that you can take home, so to say, and put it in the bank about growing yourself and growing forward, it would be this: discovering and protecting and creating that habit of aloneness. This in and of itself will radically change your life. So let's talk about it some more. So I remember when I first started cultivating this time alone in the quiet. I appreciate quiet because my life typically is anything but quiet. So I appreciate the quiet time. I wasn't a person that was uncomfortable with quiet or unnerved by it. I know some people are. They have a real hard time with it. To me, it's like, a moment. But honestly, when I first started cultivating it, even though I appreciated that quiet time, I sort of felt a little lost. Like, what do I do without all the hustle and bustle, and without all the hectic stuff, and without my eyes being diverted here and there, or my attention going everywhere? I kind of felt like I had a monkey mind, hopping around, flying from tree to tree, and trying to get that to just slow down and be still and know that He is God, and to be able to hear from God about the next step, and to even be able to listen to my own self about where I really am at and locate myself. It sometimes was really a challenge for me to get alone and do that for any significant time, especially with that monkey mind jumping all over the place. So here's a couple of things that I did. I grabbed a journal and I grabbed a pen for a couple of reasons. But the first reason was when those things came in my head, don't forget to get eggs. Don't forget the doctor's appointment tomorrow. Whatever it was, I could just write it down and go right back into my quiet time or my aloneness. So number one, then I had it jotted down and it didn't have to jump around in my head anymore. The next thing, even more, well, it is more important. It is the most important. When you go into a conversation with someone or into a meeting with someone, don't you want to listen to what they have to say? And if it's an important meeting, wouldn't you maybe bring something to write on, or maybe use your iPad or your phone to be able to jot down important things? Well, if we are going to have our quiet time where we get real with ourselves, and most importantly, we get real with God and we want to hear from Him, shouldn't we be prepared to write down what He says, or the thoughts that come up and the direction that is given? Shouldn't we take time to write it down? You know, one time when I was spending some time in the quiet and I said, I'm just not hearing you, I'm just not getting anything. I heard God's voice so clearly say, you're not prepared to remember to write down or to keep track of what I'm saying. I immediately grabbed just a sheet of paper and I think a crayon, and I said, I'm ready now. I have not been disappointed since then. When I have my time alone, when I purpose in my heart to make it happen. Does it happen every day? I wish I could nod my head yes and say, yes, it does. It doesn't always happen. That's okay. We're not here about perfection. We're here about creating a habit, right? But since I have developed that habit and I work on that habit, it is very important to me. I have not been disappointed once I worked through some of those bumps. Sometimes do I come into that quiet time, that habit of aloneness, and feel like, oh, this is like dry toast. Yes, sometimes it still does feel that way, especially if there's challenges going on in my life that are upsetting or difficult. But you know what you do with dry toast? You put some butter on it, maybe some honey, right? So you have to press through that dryness to get to the good stuff. Okay, so let's continue on. When I first started, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to feel. I didn't know what to think. It just took time to get alone with myself and in the groove with me and absolutely with Him. I needed to get in that groove and learn, how does Pamela work privately? And privately meaning not my private life, I mean in the habit of aloneness. What does that look like? And maybe that's where you are. And that's okay. And that takes time to develop. It takes time to learn. And then it changes because you change. Listen to this. Choosing to spend the first part of your day in this time of quiet is such a bonus to your life. I used to do that quiet time here and there and there and here. And I made a decision after I read Terry Savelle Foy's book, 5 Things Successful People Do Before 8 a.m. I thought, I am going to attempt this. I'm going to talk more about this later. But by nature, I'm not a morning person. But I know that I can get up in the morning and everything can be crazy, from getting kids out the door to appointments to just getting myself ready to go, and animals and everything else that need to be taken care of, that I can have the good intentions all I want of being able to have that time of peace and not be crabby and really be on my game. And many times that would fail miserably. But when I made this commitment for that early morning time, alone with God and myself, with my Bible, with my journal, with my pen, with my thoughts, and my ears to just listen. Listen for that still small voice of God. I'm telling you, it changed my life. It changed Pamela. It changed me. It has changed me because it has brought healing to my soul, set me on the right track, back on the right track. Not that I was off on some other track, but there is a purpose and a Vision 2020 call for our lives. And making this a priority put me back on that right track. Hallelujah. Hebrews 11:6 says, God is a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. So we have to know that he's good and that he is a rewarder, and diligently seek him means that with purpose and with intention. And so as I didn't just have intention but purpose, began to do this, I had rewards amazingly, not just because I accomplished a goal, but rewards that set me up for my day, for my week, and helped me when the chips were down, helped me when things were challenging, and were over the top amazing when everything was just all lined up. So I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And some of you might be saying, well, I'm just not I just couldn't do. You know what? Stop saying, I just can't. Stop saying, I'm not able to. One time I heard a minister say this about prayer, because certainly in this time that I'm having in my habit of aloneness, there's time in prayer. But I heard this minister say, you think that you can't afford to get up an hour early, to get up 15 minutes early, to get up 5 minutes early because you're too busy, you're too tired, you have too much going on. It is absolutely the opposite of that. You can't afford not to. When you can get up and you can get to that well of aloneness, and drink deep from it, it changes the trajectory of your day on the inside as well as the outside. I challenge you to just give it 100% effort for 30 days and see if it has made a difference in your life like it has in mine. Simply put, our days are full of noise, full of busyness, full of distractions, from the things at home to social media, the news, appointments, work, music, kids. The list goes on and on and on. We spend hours of time listening to other voices that are chattering, whether we're really habitually listening or we're just hearing it, but all this time to these other voices speaking, and rarely listening to our own voice. And sometimes even more rarely is listening to his voice inside of us. The voice of God speaks the wisdom of God, and wisdom comes in the habit of aloneness. Wisdom comes in the quiet. I would like to read a story to you from this awesome book. If you haven't read it, you should read it. The 5 Things Successful People Do Before 8 a.m. And it's on page 44. And it's entitled Wisdom in the Quiet. In 1984, Madeline Balita, I don't know if I'm saying that last name right, I'm sorry, was praying for a solution to her fatigue and intense back pain. Being a Christian and knowing that God speaks to his children in a still small voice, one day in prayer she heard an unusual word: fresh royal jelly. Not understanding the meaning behind this unique directive, she did some research. In her discovery, she found that royal jelly was the actual food substance worker bees fed to the queen in their hives. It is pure and natural, highly nourishing liquid that was beginning distribution in it is a pure, natural, highly nourishing liquid, that was beginning distribution in England as a nutritional supplement. Madeline began using it and seeing drastic improvement with her energy and overall well-being. Consequently, she began to ask the Lord if royal jelly was meant to do more than just help her. Start a company, were the words she heard in her quiet time practicing aloneness with God. She obeyed. Today, her company, Be Alive, went from words on pages of a journal, woohoo, went from words on the pages of a journal to an experiment in her garage to a multi-million-dollar company. And to this day, Madeline still seeks the Lord for wisdom, clarity, and direction for her life. And she says, He always provides it. She says, I quote, I believe God gave me the vision, the inspiration, the strength, and the courage to see it all the way through. Now think about it. Madeline took time to get away from all the distraction, all those voices, and sit quietly and listen for God-inspired wisdom, direction that changed the trajectory of her life and has helped so many others. Wow. Now, Madeline, that's an amazing testimony, but she's not the only leader that does this. Great leaders spend time alone. Many of them, I can list names, and we don't have time for that right now. They use solitude to put the pieces of the puzzle together. They tap into that super thinking, that wisdom, that creative side in the quiet time. John Maxwell said, it doesn't matter what your profession is, thinking always comes before achievement or precedes achievement. These leaders, you think about them as just spending all this time with others and speaking into others and encouraging others and telling others what to do or whatever, but really they spend a significant amount of time alone. And this is about not quantity, but quality. So they spend quality time alone so that they have what they need to give to the others around them. In this time alone, as I already said, this is when new ideas are birthed and come forth, solutions manifest, directions are received. Success, gang, is not stumbled upon, it is developed. And I love that quote. So here's a question for you. When was the last time that you just sat down in the quiet and thought? Gave yourself permission to just think or dream. And I'm not talking about that monkey mind. You might need to sit alone in the quiet and just let that monkey mind bounce around and just write things down. It might take 10-15 minutes some days before it settles. And you're writing all that stuff, check this, do the laundry, take care of the car, call so-and-so, finish the contract, whatever you need to do, do it. Write it down. But when have you allowed yourself just to think? Think about your life. Think about your future. Think about that Vision 2020. Think about what you want. Think about what needs to change. What is God speaking to you about? All right, I want to give you 4 steps and then we're done. Designate a spot. A spot. Your little happy space. Where would that be? It could be a chair. It could be your kitchen table. It doesn't have to be a room all by itself. It could be. Designate a spot. This is where you will spend time. And get out your calendar, not just here. in your phone, a piece of paper, and you hang it up, or something that you carry with you. Schedule it. Schedule it. I like to call it my hour of power. And you've heard people talk about that hour of power, that alone time. Have that journal like I talked about at the beginning of our session, our time today, and write down what you feel, what you're thinking, what words come forth that give you direction. Write it, write it, write it, write it. Have your iPad, use your phone, whatever, but write it down. Listen. Don't be so busy up here that you don't take time to just be still and know He is God and listen. This is a time of quiet. It is when we hear from heaven. Prayer is when we talk. Meditate is when we listen. Remember that. All right, and then so read and reflect. Maybe you're taking time to read in the Bible and think about what you read. Maybe you're reading a really awesome and inspirational book, or a book like I was talking about. Take time to do that and to listen, and to reflect upon it. And of course, take time, like I already said, to pray and meditate. Pray is talk, meditate is listen. 1, designate your place. Schedule it. 2, write. 3, listen. 4, read and reflect. 5, pray and meditate. In closing, before we're done today, I want to just read this to you. It is not what we do casually or occasionally that changes our life. It is what we do continuously. Developing the habit of aloneness, quiet time, will grow you immensely. You won't be sorry. God bless you, and we'll see you again real soon. Hey, thank you so much for letting me come alongside you in your journey, and thank you for being a part of our weekly time together. It is such a privilege, and I just really treasure our time together. If there's anything that I or my team can do, we're here to serve you. Just let us know. And also, if you have a prayer request, you can certainly put that in the comment box, and we will stand with you and be praying for you as well. Thank you for your commitment to coming together all the time with me. Please continue to share the videos and subscribe. And of course, if you want the freebie that we put out every week with the vlog, put your email in the comments so that we can get it to you. Your future is really amazing, and my future is really amazing. And we are going to walk into our future together. God's design. So I am looking forward to seeing you in the future. God bless you.